Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about breast augmentation with fat transfer for natural breast enhancement. Disclosures: there's no financial ties to disclose and no conflicts of interest. You heard me talk about fat grafting yesterday for the face alone or as a complementary treatment for surgery. I mentioned to you that I've been doing fat grafting for the face since 2005 when I trained under Dr. Roger Amar for facial fat grafting and the family technique. With the familiarity and experience with facial fat grafting, which is different and more difficult than other areas, it would be not, it will be good if I go to other areas of the body for enhancement using the fat. So these are my results with fat grafting since 2005. These were shown yesterday. This is before. This is 30 minutes after, and this is after 6 days. Another patient. This is my first patient. This is before, 38-year-old female who lost weight, and this is after 6 months. Another patient, this is before, and fat grafting to the face, this is after 1 year. And this is another patient before and after 1 year. So as mentioned, with the familiarity with fat graft and experience, I have no choice but to go to the other areas of the body. So I went into fat grafting for breast and for enhancement and augmentation, especially in Asian women we have a different kind of breast. So it's a continuing medical education. Like most of us, we are here today to learn more, to add more service to our practice. So in 2009, I heard about Dr. Roger Curry was doing fat grafting to the breast. So I attended his first conference in Miami, Florida, and it was a very nice conference. It's a 2-day conference. And after that, after 6 months, I went back and did a one-on-one training with him with this technique on fat grafting to the breast and the using of the Bravo system. And since it's a continuing medical education, I have to travel to Berlin, to Milan, to know more about the trends in fat grafting, especially to the other areas of the body. So this is with Kotaro Ishimura in Berlin in last June. This is with Tom Biggs in 2012 in Milan when I attended the first international plastic or regenerative aesthetic surgery in Milan, and with Marita Eisman-Klein, the president of IFRA. So I'll just give you some statistics why I went to breast fat grafting. According to the ASTS, in 2011, there were 800,000 cosmetic procedures performed on Asians. And in 2012, there was an increase to 970 plus cosmetic procedures performed on Asians. And breast augmentation is the second most popular cosmetic surgical procedure for Asians, comprising about 5.6%. So breast augmentation is one of the more popular cosmetic procedures and continues to be the top since 2006. Some studies, according to the UCLA study, most women, like 70%, were dissatisfied with the size or shape of their breast. Most men, 56%, were satisfied with their partner's breast. These findings suggest that dissatisfaction with breast is widespread among adult women. The prevalence of breast augmentation and breast lift surgery suggests support to this finding. Patient profile. These are the profile of my patients. They have Asian profiles. They usually have smaller body frames. That means they also have smaller size breasts. So petite, they are less than, the cup size is usually A or AAP. They are common. Breasts are surrounded by a tight skin envelope, and with the smaller nipples and less defined inframammary fold. The desire for natural breast enhancement is around 1 cup size bigger. If you go 2-3 cups bigger, the breast would look like a porn star breast. It would be unnatural, so big, and the implant would show when the patient turns her back. you can see the implant protruding on the lateral area of the body. The most appropriate size for Asian women will depend on the physical measurement as well as the pre-op volume of her breast tissue. So we want to make breast enhancement that will make her look attractive, feminine, yet still natural, and we do not want drastic enhancement. These are the profiles of Asian women. The skin type and quality. The Asian skin has a variable amount of pigmentation, elasticity, and thickness, which can influence post-operative healing. Asian women have a tendency to scar poorly, may hyperpigment, grow dark in and around incisions placed during breast augmentation procedures. These are the incisions placed in the axillary area, landed in the area of the inframammary fold. Asian women have a tendency, post-operative scar care is therefore critical to ensure great result. In my practice, in my clinic, now I can give options to my patients. It's a plastic surgeon. I can either enhance the breast or enlarge the breast by using an implant, or two, fat graft. Since fat grafting is new to my patients, when I give the option, they always select the breast implant. So breast implants are medical devices that are implanted under the breast tissue or under the chest muscle to increase breast size. It is also used to rebuild breast tissue after mastectomy or other damage to a breast. This is my patient, 24 years old, with a fibroadenoma, and he went to a general surgeon, and the fibroadenoma was removed, and reconstruction option was never discussed with the patient. So she ended up with a disfigured breast, and after suffering from emotionally, she consulted, and my only option then was to do because he needs less time to do the procedure. My only option then was to just put an implant. So this is a before and after photo using a breast implant to reconstruct the breast. I was done. The patient would only have like 2 weeks to stay in the Philippines. I was able to do breast reconstruction just using the implant. But I could have done better. The fat was available then. So breast implants, who is for women who want to permanently improve breast shape and or size, or who want their post-pregnancy figure back. They want to increase in cup size, 1, 2, or 3 sizes bigger. The approach is either the inframammary or the transaxillary or the periareolar area using a meticulous dissection, radio frequency, implant placement with less post-operative placement. All my breast implant procedures are done inframammary, cold, with no drains, and the patient goes back to work on second day post-operatively because of the meticulous dissection using a bipolar cautery. So with breast implant, you get results like this. They're bigger, although it's still natural looking. But I always tell my patients that the breast is always asymmetric. You have to discuss that to the patient that it's really asymmetric. You can't do anything about it because you're just putting the implant just under the pectoralis muscle. So what you see before is what you get, but only bigger. It's still natural. As long as you get the right size, you don't go beyond 300, 350 cc, you still get that slope of a naturally looking breast. Unlike if you go like put in like 400 cc, you have a full upper fold, and it would look unnatural. So another option is breast fat transfer. This is due to my clinic, although I know the technique since 2009, but it's very difficult to introduce this to the patient. They always want a breast implant. So it's a safe alternative to breast implant surgery. It involves the removal of fat from other areas of your body, such as thighs, abdomen, and transferring it to other areas. So you're doing liposuction. So you're making the figure look better and enhancing the breast at the same time. Both shape and size can be enhanced, and the result is very natural looking and fitting breast. To make the woman look and feel feminine and attractive, but not in any way disproportionately large, unnatural, and obviously fake. That's the goal of the Asian patient. So your aim for natural breast augmentation should be a natural looking breast. The trend is, despite modern day breast implants having good safety record and tight regulations, remember the PIPs, and more patients prefer to undergo natural breast enhancement methods. These are enhancement or rejuvenation wherein we just like to have a little fullness in the upper pole after pregnancy or after losing weight. So this is another option. So breast fat transfer is, the benefits are no foreign objects in the body, quick recovery, no cuts, no incisions, can do liposuction, body contouring at the same time. There's no implant problems. It's minimally invasive, and with, I mentioned, quick recovery, so it's less downtime. When you go to breast fat transfer, you have two options. One is when you just enhance or rejuvenate. This is what I mentioned about enhancing the upper pole of the breast. When you lose weight, when you have pregnancy, and you just like to enhance the upper breast and to have a nice cleavage, just put in maybe 50, 100 cc of fat. So this I call breast enhancement. It's done as outpatient. Another option is if you want it really bigger, like put in 200, 300 cc of fat. But before you do that, you need an external expander. So if you're going to put a large volume fat graft using around 200 to 300 cc, you need a Brava. Brava is a external expander. I'll talk on that later. This is for enlargement and augmentation of the breast. So you have breast enhancement or rejuvenation. The other one is enlargement and augmentation. So for breast fat graft or enhancement, fat is harvested from the abdomen, thighs, flanks, and lower back using power cannula. The breast can, because it's not expanded, the breast can only accommodate around 50, 100 cc of fat, depending on the skin envelope, and can be done in a series of 1 to 2 sessions. So you do a liposuction in the lower abdomen, process the fat and inject it on the upper pole and some in the lower pole. So the procedure is under general anesthesia. There's fat harvesting, fat processing, and fat injection. The system is used for atraumatic collection, processing, and grafting that minimizes manipulation of the fat. I use a power cannula to harvest the fat. Fat is collected in a canister. Where you do liposuction, it's collected in the canister right away, and it becomes the fat. Fat is transferred to a syringe and allowed to decant on a rack, and excess blood and fluid is discarded from the decanted fat. After the decantation, you use a handheld centrifuge to further process the fat to make it more condensed or compact. So these are I transferred the compacted fat after the centrifuge to a 3 ccTV syringe because they say it has a lower pressure when you inject it to your breast. These are liquid implants. Fat is delivered to a breast in a 3D panning pattern through multiple entry sites, around 6 to 9, and using a fine cannula attached to a small grafting syringe, which is a 3 ccTV syringe. The injections are very glandular only, and particularly target the subcutaneous space. A little reminder, overgrafting is a common cause of failure. When you overgraft, it's like a bucket. It can only accommodate so much. When you push that fat too much, there'll be pressure, it will be necrosis later on. And instead of having a bigger breast, you have maybe you have a 60 or more than 60% will die with the breast fat graft. So it's actually an art on how you do it. It's with the experience and the feel of it, of how you're going to stop. To support the graft after surgery, patients are instructed to wear elastic bandages, and the bandage acts as a splint, holding the space open for intraoperative contracture release. Recovery is around 2 to 4 days. So if you do the patient on a Friday, they can go back to work on Monday, and it's done as outpatient. And again, there's no scar, no sutures, no stitches to be removed. The average augmentation volume for no Brava is around 50 to 100 cc. Retention rate is 80 cc, 80%. What I usually tell my patient is what you have after 6 months is yours. So that's the thing, but it's not permanent. We all know that as we age, there's still glandular atrophy, there's a fat atrophy. So maybe later on, like fat got into the face, you can just add a little. With Brava, where we use a large volume fat graft, it involves 3 steps. Use the Brava for external expansion to create a vascular scaffold and fat grafting. So the Brava system is placed over the breast area while she sleeps typically. Usually they have to wear it 10 hours a day for like 4 to 6 weeks. It's a soft gel brassiere that gently suctions the breast, so there's an external expansion. And the fundamental and the key for high ratio of survival is the pressure on the breast. So these are before and after Brava. We put in the Brava. If you have a cup A size, if you put in the Brava, it can expand the breast up to cup C size. So you're creating scaffolding, neovascularization. So it's a very fertile ground for your fat grafting. In 2009, I brought 4 Bravas, so I can use it to my patients, and 3 did the fat grafting, and 1 was happy with the result of the Brava. So if she has a party, he uses it for like 2 weeks, and wears the Brava for 2 weeks and goes to the party, and he never did the fat grafting. So the Brava system really works, and according to her, it's very effective. The science behind Brava is our bodies have a natural mechanism for growth and healing. When body tissues displace under sustained tension, it will grow. Gradually, it will grow. So the Brava system is an external tissue expander. So you have to wear it for like 10 hours a day for 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So this is how it works with the external expansion. It really pulls the breast. So there will be neovascularization, and edema. The results vary due to individual biological factors, frequency, and duration of use. Some they expand to a 1/2 cup, some up to 2 breast cup size. So these are the vascular scaffolding. So Dr. Puri had an MRI done on this patient, and this is the MRI result of the expansion using the Brava system. And with the neovascularization, that's the time to put in the fat graft. So how big can you go with Brava and fat grafting? According to Dr. Puri, the final augmentation result will be about 2/3 of the maximal Brava expansion. So if you have a cup C, after the breast expansion, more or less you'll have a B to full B. In other words, to double the current breast volume, you need to first expand it with Brava to 3 times its original size. These are my results. So I did the drawing, and the harvest is in the abdomen. What I tell my patients is I just do the part harvesting, not the liposuction, or unless they want the liposuction done, because I want to preserve the extra fat, because maybe later on they want that fat to be placed again after like 6 months. So this is the before and this is after. If you're familiar with looking at breast augmentation, we're familiar with the big breast, but in slides and in pictures, you can only appreciate if they're more than 2 cups bigger. But if it's just an enhancement, you can see the difference between the left and the right is your right side is the nipple is bigger and shiny as compared to the left. So that's the expansion you got from this patient. So this is before and this is after. So there's an enhancement of the upper fold. Another patient, you can compare it with the nipple. So So this is the before and this is the after, maybe 100, 150 cc of fat. Another patient, you can see the nipple again with expansion of the fat. The nipple becomes bigger and shiny. Because you can actually appreciate it with a two-dimensional photo. You can appreciate it by looking at the patient itself, three-dimensionally. So this is before and this is after. Another patient, before after. This is a 22-year-old patient. Was a very tight breast envelope and very tight skin. I talked to a friend from Korea. He does fat grafting also and said, Alfredo, why don't you try injecting the patient with saline? Or like inject it now like 300 cc of saline, and after 2 weeks you put the fat. Maybe that time you can expand the breast. And I did that, and after 2 weeks of expansion using saline, this is the result I got. This before, after, and after I was able to put in 100 cc of fat on a 22-year-old tight breast envelope. This before and after. This before and after. So now I'm using the Brava system for breast reconstruction because it's very hard to convince, because when you use a Brava, they have to shell out $1,500 US to buy the Brava system. And some patients would opt to do the breast implant right away. So, but if you go into breast reconstruction, it will be easier to tell patients that these are your options. You have to do a trunk flap or a diet flap. Will stay in the hospital for a week. You'll have scar. You have possible complications, etc. But when you introduce them to fat grafting for breast reconstruction and you tell them it's outpatient, you do it on a Friday, you go back to work on a Monday, and they like it. And the problem with this is my patient, she's 43 years old. The initial plan for the surgery is excision, biopsy, possible mastectomy. And she was not prepared for the mastectomy because right then and there the patient had a mastectomy during the surgery. And when she woke up, she was surprised that the left breast was gone already. So for 2 years, every time she takes a shower and looks at the mirror, she cries. Because he thinks himself of herself as a half man, half woman. So he was depressed, she was depressed. And for 2 years, he's thinking about the breast. So she wears a padded bra with the silicone. The problem with the padded bra and the silicone is the problem with the upper pole, the cleavage. So she consulted me, and I offered the Brava system. So this is the patient. So this is the Brava system. She's wearing the Brava system. So this is before and this is after. This is the pre-expansion and the fat graft after one session, putting like 120 cc of fat. So as you can see, there's an improvement on the scar, and there's an elevation. And she was very happy right away because of the cleavage achieved by using the fat graft. Because even if you, as I mentioned, even if you just put a silicone bra or a padding, you can see because the chest is flat, you don't see any cleavage. This is the before and this is after, and we're planning to do another fat graft on her in 2 months. Another patient with a mastectomy. This is before, this is after the first session of fat grafting. This is before and after. This is also with the Brava system for external expansion. And according to Dr. Khoury, with their Brava and fat grafting, there's a return of sensation which they like. Because usually when you do a mastectomy, there's the breast or the chest become intensive. So these are the publications of the PRS. The Brava and autologous fat transfer is safe and effective breast augmentation alternative done in a 6-year, 81-patient prospective multi-center study done by Dr. Klein, by Dr. Khoury and Marita Eisman-Klein. And their conclusion is that the addition of Brava expansion before autologous fat grafting leads to significantly larger breast augmentation with more fat graft placement, higher graft survival rates, and minimal graft necrosis or complications demonstrating a high safety and efficacy for the procedure. And there's another study by Dr. Puri, fat transfer to the breast, 5 years, 50 patients. And his conclusion that it's a pleasing natural breast enhancements can be achieved with fat graft. With the use of atraumatic low pressure with fine cannulas, minimal fat manipulation, and periglandular graft placement can be achieved long-term survival. Fat necrosis, because you're always afraid about fat necrosis, is a rare event and is recognizable by modern breast imaging technique. Because the controversy is the fat necrosis. They say when you have fat necrosis, you might see it as a calcification when you do mammogram. But with the advent of the advancement in breast imaging, you can differentiate it. The procedure is safe and effective and did not create lesions that might interfere with cancer detection. Know about facts about stem cell breast enhancement, because right now you hear some clinics offering stem cell breast enhancement. The standard fat grafting procedure that do transfer some stem cells naturally present within the tissue should be described as fat grafting procedure, not stem cell procedure, because they're using fat graft, they're not using stem cell. So just these facts so we get informed that they're using fat graft. And the marketing and promotion of stem cell procedure in aesthetic surgery is not adequately supported by clinical evidence at this time. So be very careful about stem cell facelift, stem cell breast lift, or breast enhancement. Thank you very much.